Hey everybody, Adam Savage, and I'm at our friends FBFX in London along with co-founder Grant. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Every time I come here, Grant, and we've known each other for more than a decade, I'm always finding out about more things you guys made that I love. And I did not know that you made the League of Shadows armor for Batman Begins. This is what, 20 years ago?
Yeah, it is. And it's interesting. We dug it out because it's so different from all the things we've looked at and spoken to you about recently, because everything's so digital.
Right.
You know, the tools we use have changed massively.
Right.
So this is kind of like a look back at really very, very old school kind of prop making and
cannot wait.
making.
I mean, because we've covered so many parts of your process where you're able to anticipate material stretching using digital tools to execute these incredible form-fitting, impossible costumes. I'm really looking forward, because this looks very contemporary of your current work.
Yeah.
What about this is different in terms of its manufacture? How did you guys do these?
Generally, more sanding, more sore fingers. But you know, you still try and be creative. So obviously, these guys, you know, you look at nowadays putting a pattern across something like this, you know.
Relatively trivial.
Someone, you know, would model it in, we'd 3D print it, you know, maybe clean it up, but you know, essentially it wouldn't be too taxing. This is pretty pre-digital days, so.
So you had to take a sculpt and then you had to find a pattern and embed it in the sculpt, is that right?
Yeah, so patterns like this, we would have basically had them etched, so brass etched.
Oh, okay.
Then those etchings, we would have polished to kind of round the edges off.
Oh my God.
And then molded them and then cast them out in something that we could bend around the form or heat around the form.
Okay.
And then kind of lay them in and then remold everything again. So there was always like multiple mold stages back in those days.
And especially when you're doing multiple mold stages, you actually really have to account for shrinkage, because it's going to happen.
Yeah, it really does. And
so if you have 4 generations from a sculpt, you've lost dimensional size.
And certainly on some jobs, that's worked both ways for us, where we've ended up with things that too small didn't fit, and sometimes where you've over-egged it and things didn't shrink quite as much as you thought they would, and you end up with like colossal helmets that, you know, no good to anyone.
So then was this the first stage of the sculpt for these?
It was. I think these actually came later, because they were a separate, although they're supposed to be the same base item.
Right.
They're a separate model that worked with the bat suit.
Gotcha.
But obviously, notionally in the story, he takes these and kind of sprays over them and ends up with this.
Right, turns them not as decorative.
Exactly. But the fittings, the fixings are actually different on them. These have like a little pin to pull out to open them.
Yeah, it's like almost a real metal piece of armor's kind of joinery.
Yeah.
I don't know what the joint is here.
So this one's they wanted to keep this one very low key. So these have effectively the way a freezer bag works, where you have just like a little tube detail that runs down there, and then a kind of slot with an undercut that it just pops into.
I'm annoyed at how beautiful that is.
That was the brainchild of Andrew, the other co-founder. And he's, to this day, still pretty proud of this.
I would be too. That's unbelievable how gorgeously that works. Oh, look at that little, amazing.
Yeah.
Do you look back at these and remember the pain of all the sanding and all the iterative steps just to...
Yeah, and it's a reminder. I remember, you know, like it's just adding all these little panels and things. It's funny, the things that stick in your head, and just trying to get it all seamless in the little notches you've made for it. And
it's a testament to your guys' ability to really cram design into your construction so that they feel supernatural, super like of a single piece. That like 20 years ago, this was step 45, and today this would be step 4, right? But you're still producing stuff of the same kind of complexity.
It is, and we used to make, you know, despite the fact that you would take the process of developing this stuff and getting it out of the prototypes and into kind of molds you can reproduce, we'd still end up making, probably in those days, more copies of these things for a film than we would now. You know, like we'll maybe talk about some other things a bit later on today, but so you know, we would have done dozens and dozens of prototypes even to start with, and then I think when we did the League, I think there would have been at least 30 or 40 pairs of these.
I am curious, since I've been handling these, I love this detail, these spikes here, but I was picking up this and these spikes feel real.
Yeah,
are they aluminum?
These are steel. Some of these are genuinely frightening to wear.
That's terrifying.
Because this is like the real deal.
You could get genuinely hurt moving casually with a set of blades like that.
And the reason for this is that in the fight scenes, they wanted to do some practical sword breaks. So they'd catch the sword and snap the swords. And obviously the swords are sort of pre-rigged to snap. Right. And then also there's a scene where they're sliding on the ice and they hook these in, and they wanted to do some practical practical versions of that.
So you guys had to hand grind these, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and actually we enlisted the help of a friend in Prague, actually, who makes traditional kind of hand-beaten real steel armor.
Oh, amazing.
Who just made quite a lot of different shapes and different versions of these for us at the outset.
So when did you say you made about 30 or 40 of these costumes?
Yeah.
And this is the costume?
Yeah, so it's one of them. I think, unfortunately, the underpinnings here aren't original. But,
fair. But we're looking at the correct
yes,
Oh, that's not even leather, that's the urethane.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, so, again, it was all handmade in leather to start with, and then silicone molded, and then we sprayed them out in urethane.
It looks so, literally like from 1 inch away, it looks completely convincing.
And then in those days, this was kind of groundbreaking for us, because to be able to just replicate all this stitching.
It's a crazy amount of detail to get.
Yeah, before that, we were putting this in every suit by hand, obviously. So,
is there a part of the costume that you... Of course, I want to ask about the stuff that causes you pain.
No, that's okay.
But the stuff you look at, you're like, oh, thank God I never have to look at that thing again.
I guess with this one, maybe not so much. I mean, I remember every stage of it. I think that's the difference. Nowadays, there's such a big team of us involved in every stage.
Right.
But like this, I literally remember every stage of every part of this.
Right, this is you and Andrew mostly working by yourselves.
So this, I remember when this started out as a clay sculpt. And that was me. And then it's really me and Andrew just working through putting all this detail on, even casting out the original fiberglass shapes and cleaning them up. Lots of car body filler, lots of sore fingers.
So when you first saw these pieces come out of the silicone on the urethane, you must have been like, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think there were a few films around about this time where we just started kind of realizing how brilliant this technique was. And we still use it today, as you know, with the sprayed PU. It just, for armor in a film, what you're going to do, use stunts and fall on it. It's really pretty indestructible. And again, that's something that has bitten us in the arse a few times, because some of this stuff, you wish it would just fall apart one day, because it just comes back film after film in different films. Not this specifically.
So stuff that you end up making for a production goes into a rental house and gets...
So when we make kind of, especially like historical films that we've done, those kind of like arms and armor, like helmets and breastplates and things like that, they just reappear and reappear.
So I'm curious if there's anything, since these were mostly being worn, I'm guessing, by stuntmen who were moving in them.
Yeah.
I'm curious if there's stuff that you gained in institutional knowledge about building stuff that works properly for stuntmen.
I think so. I think it's something over time you can't ignore. It's every costume you make, there's a stunt version.
Right.
So, and again, this material really lends itself to that, because there are softer versions of this you can spray out.
So you can change the durometer and make it even more wearable.
Yeah. So, sorry, coin of phrase, but it's a lot more flexible as a material.
Yeah.
Before this, we were looking at vac form or even fiberglass, which are disastrous for
They're
stunt
awful
work.
for stunt, right? It's existential. It's one stunt and they're broken.
And I think even for our clients, you've got the costume designers and the supervisors and the stunt coordinators. They're so used to, in the old days before this came along, when you were talking about making these, they would assume that everything would be broken within a couple of weeks.
Right.
Because that's just traditionally how it is, right?
Yeah.
So I think, this is where all of that kind of changed and flipped over, where you just know it will make it to the end of the show, no problem. So.
Is there a part of you that kind of wishes you could start your machine here in the building to remake this, because it would be so much easier today than it was 20 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, It would, but you know, it's that thing. You know, the more technology doesn't necessarily mean you get it done any quicker.
It's true. It's true.
Because
yeah.
you just keep iterating. You know, instead
Right.
we can make a little change here and redo and redo and redo.
Right. And with all the extra time that you gained and the ease of manufacture, you're going to put into art. You're going to put into the design. You're going to make it more complex, more detailed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what I do miss is the level of hands-on. To be fair, it's true. I mean, we still are hands-on, but when it's really granular, like from the very get-go, from the from that first drawing, everything after that is just be created through somebody's hands, and that has gone a little bit.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. You miss it a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Grant, thank you so much for walking me through this. It's an amazing costume. I own a pair of fan-made vambraces, and I love them, and I cannot wait to pull them out again. Dude, it's just gorgeous.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching. One of my favorite things we make in our tested store are demerit badges. These are like scout badges, but for screwing stuff up, because screwing up is not just a part of the making process, it is intrinsic to it, and we like to celebrate that. We've got 27 so far in the Supervisors bundle that you can go buy right now by clicking on the link in the description, but we also have a booster pack of some brand new patches. This is the demerit badge for burning off your eyebrow. I am proudly sewing that to all of my clothes. This is the demerit badge for having a messy workbench, which I do not get today. My workbench is super clean. And we have new octagonal patches that are, merit badges. This is the merit badge for sweeping up your shop. Congratulations, I'm so proud of you. And this, oh my God, this is great. This is the merit badge for creating a clean space on your bench. Hey, we got to take our successes where they come and meet them there. Go to the tested-store.com or adamsavage.com to buy any of these, or click on a link in the description.